Hello and welcome to episode 46 of TNA Top 10. It is a new day. Yes, it is.
I'm
We
Big
don't have
E. Nobody gets to be. I get to be Big E if it's a new day.
we don't have no football talk on this show. It might slip in once in a while, but we got a whole show for that. But we brought in the beautiful Allison Faye for the entire show now. She's not behind the glass. That means I have some more duties. She's got her duties, I got my duties, and Andrew just talks. That's how we do this. So why don't we get it started because we
We
went to Vegas.
we
First
went
of
to
all,
Vegas.
stop. Correction. Terry may not mention football on this show, but I will still remind all of our listeners that Dylan Rayola will be only the second freshman to start at quarterback for the University of Nebraska behind Touchdown Tommy. Now,
But I remind you that I do cut up the episode, so they may not hear that part.
stop it. You know they will. Allison is here, our
Hi, guys.
lovely friend, my PLP. Yes, she is here now for the duration.
Hello, boys.
And she is a bad influence on us
Mm-hmm.
because we all went to Las Vegas and it was her fault.
Yes, I made sure to include my three very best friends to join me for my birthday in Las Vegas, and we brought our dearest Amy with us, and it was tremendous. My parents also joined us, which for a little bit, which was fun. And what did we do, guys? I mean, it was Vegas.
Well, we had to get there first. And
No.
Terry, I think you've got a segment here for the TSA and our story. So you're
I
up first,
do, but I
buddy.
already I have a regret when it comes to this. So let me go ahead and run this down. This was on the way out there. So when I fly anywhere, I'm in Huntsville. Huntsville is the most expensive airport in the United States. So I don't fly out of Huntsville except for business purposes. So I
Ironically
drive up to
enough,
Nashville.
it's Rocket City too, folks, which makes
Mhm.
absolutely no sense. Terry, continue on, please.
Well, it's all business travel, and businesses pay the big bucks. But anyway, so I go up to Nashville. I'm heading out to Las Vegas. So everybody's favorite part of that, you go through TSA, and so I get up there. I show them my driver's license, and they let me through. And then I try to find which line I'm getting in, and then a whole bunch of people flood in front of me there, and I'm like, oh crap, because I don't ever know where I'm headed, right? So I get in line, and this lady in front of me is taking forever. She's got every question in the book. She's brought everything that she shouldn't have brought, So she's talking to the guy, and I'm just waiting and waiting. So finally, I get in line to get scanned. There's tons of people in front of me. I finally get up there, and every other time I've been scanned, they go, "Okay, you're good." This time they go, "Come here a minute." And I'm like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" And the guy pulls me to the side and says, "Do you have anything on your person?" I'm like, no, not really." He goes, "Well," and I look over, I glance over at the scan, and now I see why he's asking me this. And honestly, it's not that hot in Nashville. I mean, it's pretty hot, but I'm heading to Vegas, right? It's going to be a lot hotter there. But there is a picture of my scan with a small, wait. Not small, not small. Wrong word. Huge, huge red box around my crotch where basically TSA told me I've got a hot dick. That's right. So I'm looking at this picture of this big box of red around my crotch. So they have to frisk me, I guess, to see what's putting out that heat.
I mean,
I guess it's my penis. That's all I know to say.
that's it.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So, first things first, first order of business that we have. Terry, would you describe the box to us, please?
Well, I had a picture, but stupid me, I forgot to even include it in the dang slides today. I was planning to put it up here, but I will put it on social media. So be on the lookout for that.
Never mind all that. We're going to put it on your new shirt. Big Dick Energy coming to TNA Top 10 very, very soon.
With a picture of Terry in the
That's
In
right.
Scanner.
With my arms
hands
held up
up,
high,
hands
I've
up.
got my
And the
I've
big
got
red
my
box.
plane ticket because I'm one of those guys. I still print out the hard copy of the
Oh,
plane
Lord.
ticket because I'm always fearful that my cell phone is going to die and I'm going to have no connection to any of my information. So I print out the hard copy and I've got it held up. And it's like, so there's a guy like this, and there's this giant red splotch from my waist to my knees. That's right. That's what I said.
I gotta ask. Do you also print out maps from MapQuest too?
I make my own maps. What are you talking
But he prints them out. That's the
Prints
key.
them out. That's the key.
You know,
Oh,
Terry,
Lord.
on the topic of the red crotch, I have had to advise some people about antibiotics. I don't know that I should advise you about antibiotics, but they're my people, you know. Well, you know which ones. But anyway, may check that out while you were glistening, sir. Glistening.
Oh,
Yeah,
you don't think I was scared? Like I talked about, that happened in Nashville. It's 110 degrees in Las Vegas, and I'm going through TSA,
Dry heat.
and I am nervous as hell. But the guy didn't even he barely even said anything to me. But I was so nervous. Anyway, go ahead. Your turn.
Allison, you're up.
I didn't have any troubles getting there, but going home, sure as shit had issues. So I stayed longer than everybody because I actually had to stay for a conference I was speaking at. And when I left that morning, there was that Microsoft outage that affected every single airline, every single airport, bank, like millions of things. But I was lucky because my flight wasn't canceled. All other morning flights were canceled. My first flight was at 6. I think we finally got out at closer to 7. And then my connecting flight was also delayed a full hour, which means I met that one. But I just remembered coming in, I lied. I did have issues. I totally forgot. I wiped that from my brain because I had such a good time with you guys. We sat on the tarmac for an hour after we landed. A full hour. And it wouldn't have been so bad if it wasn't a million degrees outside and there was no air flowing through the cabin.
Yeah, it doesn't flow until you get going.
No.
So
So
if you're
we were
sitting there-
melting. So
Yikes.
we waited an hour to get off the plane, and then our luggage still isn't. What did we wait? Another half an hour? Thanks to Andrew for waiting for me at the gate, which he was at the wrong gate, but that's okay.
I was not at the wrong gate. I was at the gate I was supposed to be at. Man,
So my whole plane went to the wrong gate.
it was at 11 and it went to 7.
Oh.
Which wasn't
Anyway,
that
I still
far.
found you. But yeah, so we'll talk more about the heat later. But Andrew, how about your travel?
I'm going to preface this with the fact I'm a very patient person. A very patient person. And I don't know why.
We get to give feedback on that.
I know, I was going to say.
I don't know why
According to
either of you
who?
are looking at me like that because you know it's a fact. That I am
Sure.
a very patient person.
Sure.
So, being the patient person that I am,
You don't say.
my day started at 4 o'clock Eastern because I'm catching a direct flight to Las Vegas. And one of my friends, who is a world-renowned traveler, says, you need to make sure you're there early. 17 minutes from central parking and RDU through security to the gate. I was plenty early.
And how much did you pay for that parking, sir?
It was $21 a day, which
Yeah.
is obnoxious.
Yeah.
Obnoxious. Okay. She's just prodding me at this point.
I
I think Nashville is 40, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Hartford, I think, is close to 60 if you park in the garage,
Yeah. So it was
which is why we
$21
all
a
park
day,
off.
$84, and I'll get there in a second. And in fact, because I don't want to forget, I'll just tell y'all, I went to swipe my debit card. It wouldn't take the son of a bitch. It would not take the debit card. So I pull out the phone and try to get it to take the Apple Pay. Would not take the Apple Pay. My ass is sitting there at 12:30 at night in the Supra trying to get the fuck out of the parking garage with the little barrier right across me. It was horrible. Anyway, I got it paid for, got through finally, blah, blah, blah. So I land in Las Vegas on time. God bless you, Delta. And I'm waiting on Allison because her flight is like
An hour after yours.
an hour later. Well, it was scheduled an hour and a half,
Yeah.
but they landed 30 minutes early, and then she sat on the tarmac for the hour she told you about.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there reading my book, and I keep hearing this announcement that folks, we're having weight and balance issues due to the heat. We'll need to get people off of the airplane, blah, 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 blah. This comes into play later. Allison
heard
gets
that in my
her sweaty ass off the airplane,
So
and we go to luggage, where I have a very terse conversation with my co-host Medusa on the One True Sport Network, because she thinks that I'm yelling at her through a text message. Because apparently the tone of my voice gets me in more trouble than anything on this planet. And
Especially
inside of
through
the
text.
text message, it's even
Yes.
worse. Jerry, can you confirm?
It is. I can
Yes.
confirm. I've been on the losing end of that one myself, and yeah.
And I don't mean anything by it. And that's
Nope.
the worst part. So
Right.
I pick up the phone and I call her. And Allison says, I'm going to sit down. Meanwhile, my ass is over here on the phone like this with Medusa. And then she's like, and we're fine. We're cool. Had an awesome show this past week. Check it out. Anyway, we have a great time in Las Vegas. Fantastic time in Las Vegas. And then the shit show really begins. Again, I'm a patient individual. We leave to the airport, the three of us, not Allison, but me and Amy and Terry, early. Well, we're in separate terminals, so I have to leave and blah, blah, blah. I get on a tram. The tram dies in between the damn terminals. It just dies. Right out on the track is dead. Not working. No electricity. Get through there. Fine. Dandy. Whatever. Get to security. It is taking way too fucking long, in my opinion, but they are literally stopping and searching and questioning about every other bag. And I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't have TSA pre-check. I ever fly to Las Vegas or out of Vegas again, I will have TSA
Yeah,
pre-check.
you will.
Because that's stupid. But anyway,
Does that get me out of a scan? I may do that myself.
I don't think it does, but you know.
Okay.
Anyway, we finally get up there. They scan my bag. I am a carry-on only guy. You know, the duffel bag, whatever. I put my books inside the side pocket of the bag. They scan the bag. The bag gets kicked to the back line, which nobody ever wants to see get kicked behind. And they roll up, and this woman says to me, "Sir, is this your bag?" I said, "Yes, that's my bag. Would you mind if I open it? There's something unidentified in it." Like, sure, open it. The
Roughly 10
unidentified.
inches long.
Well, that would have been the best part, but the whorehouse trip was canceled. But
Thanks. Amy's very grateful.
Amy was very grateful, but she did still say prayers and light the candle for me anyway. But the object in question was my books. I had Medusa's book, The Woman Who Would Be King,
Ugh.
right next to another book, Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Trash.
And so the woman opens the bag. "Sir, do I have your permission?" What the fuck are you supposed to tell him? No, you can't open my bag. Let's see how far you fly not allowing TSA to open your damn bag. Yeah, open the bag. I don't care. And by the way, if you're an asshole that brings shit onto an airplane that you're not supposed to bring on, fuck you, because you make it more difficult on the rest of us.
You absolutely do.
There's a deal with the bag, the whole books, and she pulls the books out. She looks at Medusa's book, whatever. She looks at Red, White, and Royal Blue, and she does this number. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my book." And she says, "Okay." And she puts it in a bag and hands it back to me. I have been judged by TSA for my reading preferences, and now I'm probably on some damn list. So then, it gets better. My patience here. We get on the airplane. They're fueling the airplane. Now they have changed the weight of the airplane. Remember the whole, due to the heat, we're having weight imbalance issues as I was listening, waiting on Allison? Well, when you fully load an airplane, apparently it changes the weight of said airplane. And they allowed standby passengers on an airplane when it was already 100 degrees outside. So they filled the plane up because we're going all the way to Atlanta. Then they pushed away from the gate. And then they make the announcement, we're going to have to deplane because we're having weight imbalance issues. The woman apparently had enough at the ticket counter already dealing with people's shit, and I couldn't imagine the thing that they had dealing with Allison's plane trips being canceled. But she walks onto the plane, and on the little thing, she gets on the mic. We will give anybody that gives up their seat $1,000 cash. And I mean, I was like, holy shit, I got things to do tomorrow, but I ain't doing that. So they take the standby people off, they take the plane off, and apparently a couple standby people decided to stay on the plane, which only delayed us further. And the coup de grace, because I am such a patient individual, was this Karen who comes up to the flight attendant and says to her,
"That motherfucker's not real."
Not that, but says to her, I have a connecting flight. I need to get off this plane first before everybody else.
Oh, that's always fun.
Okay.
And the woman looked her dead in the face and said about like Terry would, 80% of the people on this flight have a connecting flight in Atlanta.
That's the airline version of a lot of guys' girlfriends are in there.
Correct. So this woman would not sit the fuck down. And I mean, it's 10 or 15 minutes. Now, y'all know that I am not only the king of kayfabe, but I'm the real king on Instagram. I've seen enough of these videos to know how this goes. If you open your mouth and yell at the person, even if they deserve it, and you're sticking up for the flight crew, they're going to throw your ass off the plane too. So I very aggressively bit the inside of my mouth.
Wow.
Tasted blood the whole flight.
Yeah. So we finally take off over an hour late, and I get to Atlanta, and my plane is delayed in Atlanta. So it's like 12:30 before I even get in the Supra and get the hell on home. But anyway, that was a lot longer than I meant it to be. So this is the moral of the story, other than I am very, very patient, folks. The reason I don't like to fly isn't because I'm scared of airplanes. It is because all of that shit, from the tram to TSA to the Karen to the fuel to the people not getting off the airplane, it's all out of my control, and I cannot stand it. Cannot stand it. Because there's nothing you can do about it. There is not one thing I could have done to make any of the situation any better. So I tried to be unbothered, which is very difficult for me, and I tried to be quiet, which I did successfully do, but I did get 3 stitches on the inside of my cheek in case anybody cares. And that was my travel fun with TSA.
So we didn't just travel, but we ate too.
Thank God we didn't just travel.
Absolutely ate. I ate 2 breakfasts one day.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
Makes 2 of us. Oh, the food in Vegas. Look,
We went
I could not live in Las Vegas for one reason, and that would be the food. Allison would be gambling. I just would go broke eating, and then I would be, 800 pounds. But I don't think we had a bad meal. We haven't had a bad meal.
I mean, it'll be my fault if we did. So
the classic response is the Mexican place in Atlanta. But other than that place,
if that was our bad meal, we got a really good track record.
Yeah, we do.
No, but our 2 big dinners, which I think we all agree were phenomenal, were Mayfair Supper Club, which, if anybody doesn't know,
everybody got some ass shaking to watch, and that's
good. Correct. It's a show. It's dinner and a show. It's like a cabaret, and then Peter Luger. Ooh.
It was great.
Melt in your mouth, family style steak, family sides, good drinks apparently. Isn't that right, Terry?
Good drinks, and they hit a lot harder than expected. You think 2 drinks, I'm good, but boy,
especially
did
with
they
all the
hit.
food we eat. You would think with all the food we eat, it wouldn't hit as hard. I had a dirty martini, and woo boy,
But I'm not going to get into the details here, and this will make you guys laugh. Others may not know the details here, but I'm not wearing those damn Macho Man socks and drinking ever again. They make me a complete lightweight.
Woo, if you know, you know.
And we are not getting into that today, nor will we possibly ever get into it ever.
He
Well,
says that
let's
now.
talk about the food we ate.
Okay, so the supper club, Allison.
So
it was your
my
birthday.
favorite, yes.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my favorite thing at the supper club was the tuna tartare. It was exceptional, with truffles and some vinaigrette, and oh, it was amazing. And um, I don't remember what you guys had for. Did you have a crab cake? No. What did you have for an appetizer?
I had coconut shrimp in
Mm,
half a coconut, and it
that's
took me
right.
forever
To
to
figure
figure
out
out it was actually in half a coconut. I thought it was a brown bowl, and then I looked close at it and I'm like, damn, if that's not a damn coconut.
that's right.
And Allison
It
and
was
I
good.
shared the steak or the
Yeah.
tartare, the tuna tartare. It was melt in your mouth goodness.
Yeah. It
Really
was
was.
fantastic. For dinner, I had the teriyaki salmon.
Mm.
I had something else. What did I have?
You had
Yeah, we need
pork.
to
You had the
write
pork
this
chop?
stuff down.
Oh, I've got pictures. Hold
had the
on, I'm
pork
on the
chop, I
phone. I
thought.
know that's rude, but
I had a steak. I
You
don't
had a
remember
steak.
what kind of steak it was. It might have been a New York strip. It seems
I
like
think
it was
it
long
was.
and skinny. Yeah.
you
Mm-mm.
probably had a fillet.
No, I don't do filet.
No, it wasn't a fillet.
I
It
need
was a
more
strip.
fat.
Allison has the pictures.
I have the pictures. You had pork, Andrew, didn't you? A pork chop?
Yes, because I knew we were going
We're
to
having
eat
steak
steak,
the next-
the next day. That's right.
Hell,
I had the
that
pork
don't keep
chop
me from eating steak.
cooked to perfection. The vegetables, the cream spinach, awesome. And of course, we had to have dessert.
They brought out they had me choose a dessert for my birthday, and I chose do your own,
Great.
make your own sundae, right? Instead, they come
Unbelievable.
out with this like 3-tiered tray with a giant glass of soft serve ice cream and like 6 different toppings, and it was perfect so we could share with everybody. And then they gave me a small one with a candle for the picture.
It was unbelievable.
It was fantastic.
Great
service.
Yeah, and the supper club, to Allison's point, was dinner and a show. The musicians were phenomenal. The ass shaking was hot.
And
Yeah.
and you're going to say the same thing I
Mhm.
think I'm going to say. And the Bellagio fountain
Oh
went
yes,
with the music.
went with music, and that was it was so cool, and it was definitely. I had never been, so that's always a good thing too. Is when it's
Yeah.
your first time and it's a great time, then you'll go back again and you'll tell people about it. And that is what he said. You're welcome. Don't act like I didn't see that look on your face. That's what he said is coming to TNA.com. I don't care what anybody says,
Yep.
because we say it often enough. But no, the whole experience was great. We were dressed up, no shorts,
No
only
shorts.
pants and ties.
Andrew owns pants.
The white pants. Okay, so I am truly inspired. I do love to write, and I had put that on a joke that these white pants have been everywhere with me. Quite frankly, they have. We have stories to tell. So maybe I'll start doing some writing. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But the joke is that the white pants. Allison makes fun of me for wearing them. But
I do not. All right. So what else we want to talk about? Peter
Well,
Luger?
hold on. Before we get
sorry.
beyond the supper club, we do need to mention that we were with your parents that
Yes.
night, and that was my first time meeting your parents. Great people, in my opinion. Your mother is, maybe she'll hear this, but she's a very charming lady, and I will say that. And yes,
My dad
we do,
listens.
and we do have long pants.
yes, they are quite the entertainers. It was funny. There was a miscommunication where I said I don't wear pants outside of work. And apparently I got taken as I don't wear pants. No. That wasn't what it was. But it was awesome. And to Terry's point, Allison's parents, very charming, very engaging, very giving. And we're very grateful that they were able to join us.
Thanks
We
for the
are.
drink. Thanks for the drink tickets, Dad.
Yes,
Yeah, George,
absolutely.
thanks for the beer flavored water you made fun of me for.
And we did sneak some very good bourbon in some of those
Yes,
drinks
we
before
did.
the bartender realized they were giving us the high dollar stuff.
Hey.
Yeah, so Terry looks at me. This was funny. He's like, yeah, we'll have a
It was Maker's Mark. The choice was Maker's Mark, and what was the other one?
Buffalo Trace is what you
Buffalo
put in the first one.
And then I said Maker's Mark, and then I thought about it and was like,
I
what
said,
the
Terry,
hell?
What is
Never
wrong
mind.
with you?
Give me
Like-
the Buffalo Trace. Yeah.
Terry, no, tell him Buffalo Trace.
It was such a surprise, I didn't even realize it.
I haven't drank in years and knew Buffalo Trace was better than Maker's.
Yeah. So we had Buffalo Trace.
And
after
then
look
the
that
bartender
Andrew and I
caught on.
Yeah.
But what he did was give him a double instead, which Terry needed.
Oh, I stuck that down too. And then by the time we got to the show, I was doing just fine.
Just fine. As were the dancers and the singers.
Yes.
But anyway, Vegas is an entertainment city, and that one did not disappoint. Allison, that was your first time there too.
That
wasn't
was my first time. Not my parents. They had been there before, but I had never been there before. And Terry was right. I was going to say the sitting in front of the windows where our view was the Eiffel
perfect
Tower and the Bellagio fountains.
Perfect.
You can't beat that. We got to watch the sun go down while we were there. It was fabulous.
And we didn't ask for that seat.
Nope.
That was the seat they gave us.
So then I guess the next day, I might be getting stuff mixed up.
Nope.
Andrew and I were in the same hotel. So we went down and we got breakfast. And I got steak and eggs because I needed to keep my steak streak alive. And what did you get? And
Chicken
it was
fried
great.
steak. Yeah,
Deep
chicken
fried steak. And that was a great breakfast. But then later, we took an Uber over to you guys at
Yep.
your hotel. Or
Well, at Amy's hotel.
at Amy's hotel. And then you guys said, hey, we're hungry. Let's get breakfast. And it was like, hell, why not? Let's get breakfast.
I'm
And
on
then I
vacation.
got probably the best French toast that I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah, that French toast was on
That was good.
time, sir.
It was.
I got biscuits and gravy with chicken, and I was like, it already was great with the biscuits and gravy, and then you added that chicken on there. I was so happy. As a person who doesn't get to eat breakfast very often because I don't eat eggs, that was a great breakfast.
The biscuits and gravy were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. The pancakes were great because I stole some off Terry's plate after he said, I ain't eating no more.
Oh, I
But I had
think
to try it.
1.8 breakfast was enough. So I
They
let
made, they made them brioche pancakes, dude. Those weren't no
French toast.
or French
French
toast.
toast.
They weren't no sissy.
It was
French
like
toast.
angel food cake or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it was. They were the Rock's cheat meal pancakes.
Oh.
Or French toast. Excuse me, French
God,
toast.
it was crazy.
So good. And honestly, the prices were not stupid.
No.
No,
Stupid.
that was at the Grand Lux Cafe in the Venetian. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then we added the Italy,
Oh
Not
yeah,
to
that was the
get
that
to
was the
the
first
eatery.
day.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and we
That
ate
was-
together the night we all got in. We had the
Buddy
Italian.
V's.
Yeah.
And I had
And
that
we got
beautiful, beautiful.
then we went to
lasagna.
the Carlo's Bakery.
Oh yeah, we got four. Count 'em. The Golden Girls. got
No,
4. Oh, that's different.
that's different. That was at the cake place where we got 4 pieces.
No,
of
no, no.
cheesecake.
You just happened to see bitch better have my
Bitch better
What
have my
was-
coffee. Yeah.
bitch better have my
I did-
coffee. Yeah.
That's right.
So
I mean-
you guys know that's a song. Could be Mud Friday, whatever. Bitch better, but come Friday, bitch better have my money. So now it's bitch better have my coffee. And anybody that knows me knows bitch better have my coffee because my day starts with a whole craft of coffee. And then I have some more coffee. And then at night I have coffee. And y'all wonder why I'm a live wire all the time, but that's how this works. And I have Kool-Aid too. Gotta have my Kool-Aid. But anyway,
Should
we
we
paid
save?
$5 a cup for Dunkin' Coffee, and they
Yeah,
put
I know.
cream and sugar in that bitch. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? I said black coffee, no cream, no sugar.
I think we should save the details of Peter Luger for just put it in your mouth at a later date if you guys are all right with that.
Yeah, that's fine. And then, I mean, we basically ate steak for 4.
Yeah.
It was family style. It was fabulous. And then we'll move on from that, like you said, so that you can set up.
Here's
video.
a spoiler for all you folks that listen to Just Put It in Your Mouth. My favorite, and probably, in my opinion, best meal we had was at Peter Luger.
Very good.
That's a good spoiler.
Allison and I have a debate on it over
We
the
do.
Supper Club versus Peter Luger. But my opinion, for my money, for the entertainment, for all of it, for the presentation. Peter Luger, best meal we've ever had as a group.
It's good stuff.
So, random thought from Vegas. Andrew and I are in a cab or an Uber or something, and we're headed down some road. I don't know what it was. And he goes, and he's sitting on the right side of the cab. I'm on the left. He goes, "Hey, look, there's Raising Cane's." And I look to my left and I go, "Son of a bitch, there is a Statue of Liberty and a roller coaster over here, and you're excited about damn Raising Cane's."
Yeah. I've never been. Could have gotten overpaid for it in Vegas. What the hell? Oh, by the way, for those of you traveling to Las Vegas, spoiler alert, nothing has gotten discounted or is less expensive than the last time you were there.
Definitely not.
Although
a lot of
I
money
will
on
say,
clothes this week.
the Uber taxi situation makes it very, very easy to navigate Vegas, and that really wasn't that expensive.
They are normally 2 or 3 minutes away from you
Correct.
at all times, too. So
And despite being 120 degrees and having to stand in the Uber line or the taxi, it really wasn't that bad.
Unless you're
Right.
my parents at your hotel.
My
We
God.
waited 20
I'm like,
minutes. for
George,
some strange-
let me get you an Uber. No, it's okay, bro. We get in a taxi. Get in a taxi. I just got waved off by a senior citizen. What the fuck?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Now, George
All
is cool. Don't get me wrong. He's a Yankees fan. He knows.
That's right. I mean, I think that right now, George is kind of sad about the Yankees. Because, oh my God, what is happening?
Well, that's what I can't figure out is they're off the rails. And the thing is, Judge hits home run 35 today, but they lose to the Rays for the second time, meaning series this season. You can't lose to the teams in your own division. That does not work. And quite frankly, top to bottom, the Yankees are far superior to the damn Devil Rays, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, Terry, what do we got going on with other baseball stuff?
Well, we just hit the All-Star break, and I noticed when I looked at the standings, because I look at the standings every week, every team that's in the lead of the division is under 500 for the last 10 games. These guys are feeling the length of the baseball season.
Yeah.
Okay, I set you up with a softball there, Andrew.
That's what he said.
But they are feeling the
softballs
fact that
allowed.
we've got
In a situation where that's what he would say. Okay?
so 162 games, and we are like 90 games in or so, and some of these teams are struggling. But those teams right below them, they're not taking advantage of it. I didn't really see anybody that's really dominating. Pretty much there's parity all over the place. Somebody had 8 wins, but it was like Detroit, and they're like 4th or 5th place or something. So it didn't really matter. But everybody else is either 4 to 6 wins over the last 10. And the standings are staying stagnant. So, the Braves and the Yankees are both second place. The Braves are a lot farther behind, 7.5 games behind the Phillies. The Yankees are within striking distance of Baltimore. But it's but things are stagnant. And the Yankees have the third best record in the AL. The Braves have the 4th best record in the NL. It looks like they're just headed to the playoffs, and hopefully you get hot when it comes.
Well, I made the statement early in the season. I didn't know that any team could take down the Yankees in 7. That isn't true right now, the way they're playing. Now, early in the season, they were the hottest team in baseball, and they have drastically cooled off. Supposedly, Giancarlo's off the injured list by the 23rd. We'll see. It is the 21st. But again, you can't lose in your division. They've lost to the Rays. They've lost to the Red Sox. They've lost to the Orioles. You cannot continue to do that if you're the New York Yankees. They have got to – it isn't even they've got to find their talent or who they are, because they are the Bombers. They can hit from start to finish, beginning to end. They can play defense from start to finish, beginning to end. I thought it was the pitching. Well, Cole's back, and he's throwing like he's the Cy Young Award-winning champion. But – last night Nestor got shelled, and the Yankees lose 9-1. Today they give up a couple of home runs and they lose 6-4. So, and that was it's the black guy, Marcus. I forget his name, but it's the
That
is it Freeman? Is it Freeman on the mound? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He lost. He was 7-4 going into today's game. Now he's 7-5. So
Morgan Freeman. That's who.
Morgan. Well, it could be Morgan.
Oh, that's
Morgan Freeman is going to narrate Terry's life story.
Yeah.
I need
I'm
Samuel
gonna
Jackson
throw you a
for the use
slide.
of the word motherfucker. Which is what you all being right now if you hating on God's team, the Yankees. Because as Terry pointed out, Donald Trump, former and soon to be again president of the United States, told nuclear missile obsessed Kim Jong-il he just needed to go to a Yankees game, bro. That's all it is. Go
That's
to the
right.
Yankees. Watch
Quit
it,
buying
bro.
all those nuclear weapons. You
Not
never know.
only-
Let's go to a Yankee.
Not only are they God's team, but it's diplomatic relations. That's what I'm talking about.
apparently.
So why don't we do this? Okay, so we've had the All-Star break. We got almost half of the season left. We got the playoffs on the horizon.
Marcus Freeman. Thank you. Moving on.
Well, you said it right in the
You
first
said
place
it.
then. All right. So let's go ahead and try to make some All-Star break predictions. A little past the All-Star break. So the American League, the teams that I thought might make it to the World Series are the Orioles, the Yankees, the Guardians, or Indians, or whatever you want to call
Nope.
them. The Astros or the Mariners. Those are the only teams that I felt had any chance. In the NL, I only think it's the Phillies, Dodgers, Brewers, Braves. Brewers, I'm not real sure about, but let me tell you something that broke my heart before we get into this. I drove 2 minutes to the post office to drop off a letter to my son at boot camp, and Freddie Freeman hit a damn home run for the Dodgers. And as a Braves fan, not much about baseball breaks your heart more than hearing that on the radio. Anyway, let's make some prediction. Who do we think of these teams from the American League? So let's start with the American League. Who's going to the World Series? Do you think the Yankees are getting there? Do you think they can get past the Orioles?
If I answer anything but the Yankees, I get my fan card revoked.
You
So
will
it's the
be
Yankees.
flogged, huh?
It's the
Okay.
Yankees. Correct.
Yeah, well, football season starts in 4.5 weeks. So I'm
That's
not
fine.
afraid.
That's fine. But
I'm
it's
not
the
afraid.
Yankees.
Realistically, it's the Guardians.
Ew! Stop!
I know, but it's the Guardians.
What is wrong with
The
you?
Yankees may win one series, they won't win two. And particularly the way they're playing now. Go ahead and yell at me, it's fine. But the way they're playing now, you know that I am objective when it comes to sports. It is very, very, even when I talk about Nebraska, with the exception of Dylan Raiola, we are very objective in the way we handle things. If you don't believe me, listen to our episode on football and the SEC that we just recorded. But with the Yankees, if they do not find their it factor, their rhythm, whatever you want to call it, they will not win two series in the playoffs. Unfortunately, they beat the brakes off Cleveland, but they did it early, and now Cleveland is Cleveland. Houston is Houston. If you're asking me to pick now, I'm going to pick against the Yankees because they have not been the Yankees. And I'm going to say that even Baltimore loses, and it's Cleveland. And that really pains me. The other reason, though, the other team is Philly. The Dodgers will choke like they always choke.
Yeah.
And no offense to the Brewers or the Braves, but they ain't got the juice to go 7 with
They don't.
either of those teams.
I would agree.
So the Dodgers can win, as they've proven the last, 3 out of 4 seasons or 2 out of 3, 110 games. They don't win the World Series. So I'm going with the Phillies and the Guardians, if you're asking me hard gun to the head prediction.
So I picked the Phillies over the Yankees in the World Series.
I have
See,
Phillies.
Terry's
and
more of a
Yankees.
friend than I am. There you go.
I have Phillies and Yankees as well, but I have the Yankees taking it. So
All right. That'll
There
be
we go.
fun to watch.
all right.
So, real
By
quick,
the way,
do we get a
Aaron
triple
Judge-
crown this year?
Aaron Judge will hit 60 home runs.
I agree. Absolutely.
He hit number 35 today. He will make it to 60.
Do we get a triple crown this year, Otani?
No, but you get one out of Judge.
Well, how about this? Ellie De La Cruz has 47 stolen bases through 98 games. How many stolen bases do we predict? I'll start this. Let me do
Wait,
some
does he?
math.
Do we count playoffs or no?
No. Just regular
Okay.
season. So 160.
85.
We're 98 of 162, and he's got 47.
I'm going 85, Terry, because
Nine-
that's my birth year. 85.
I'm going 92. I think he's gonna step it up.
I go 78 because when the games don't mean shit, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah, I go 85.
All right. Well, let's move on to wrestling. Do we have much to talk about here? Mommy's back.
Thank
And
God.
Jay Uso seems to be putting out some feelers for Mommy
Hey.
there.
Someone tell him that's a married woman.
Hey, look, I am in love with this whole storyline. I think it's fabulous. I'm trying to think about, okay, who turns? It's gonna be to me one of the two sustaining storylines for a while. So, yay! I'm glad she's back.
I 100% am glad Mommy's back. I think that they did that really well. Apparently, according to the news, they ran out of time. The wrestling news, they ran out of time there at the end. But the domineering woman, maybe Dom turns on her, maybe he doesn't. But the thing is, she is the best female wrestler in the world. Sorry, Super Dave, it ain't Charlotte Flair no more. And she is greater than a quote women's division, which I think is phenomenal for women in wrestling. Medusa and I talk about this on her show. You always have to say women's wrestler, female wrestler, women's champion.
Right.
With Mommy, with Rhea Ripley, you have the opportunity to remove the label. She is just a wrestler.
Correct.
And she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And that, to me, is what is so compelling about her. I'm not saying that Charlotte Flair isn't. I'm not saying that Liv Morgan hasn't played this to the nth degree. I think it's fantastic. Very similar to the character work we're getting out of Taylor Rotunda as Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, and we can get there in a second. But staying on point with Rhea Ripley, the look, the presence, the charisma, the believability, and then she delivers in the ring. Jade Cargill has that airport look and that phenomenal magnetism, but she doesn't deliver in the ring yet.
Right.
She will, under the tutelage of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. She absolutely will, and Bianca Belair and all the women in the WWE. But Mommy delivers, and probably won't win at SummerSlam, because they'll do something. To Allison's point, this is a male soap opera that women do watch, but this is a male-dominated soap opera, and it's what it is. It's our Young and the Restless, and we want to know what happens next in the story. The good news is WWE, and I've made this point a billion times, the women's division is so strong that no matter what they do, because even we got that Bayley and Queen Nia interaction this past week on SmackDown. Whatever they do, they're not really going to fuck it up. It's almost impossible for them to make such a tragic mistake. Whereas AEW, they've already made the tragic mistake, and we can get there in a minute. But definitely am excited that Rhea Ripley is back, and glad that she recovered so quickly, because it was a shoulder injury or something, right? I think. Anyway.
Well, yeah, you kind of alluded to it here. We got MJF and Will Ospreay over on the other side there. What are your thoughts on how they've gone about this and what the results are?
Ladies first.
I just said they put on a banger. That's all I'm gonna say.
So they put on a banger, but we've already seen this game.
Correct.
There's 3 or 4 1-hour matches that have opened a show that Tony's given away for free. I got into an argument with some Twitter people. They're obviously AEW apologists, and that's fine. They can be AEW apologists. I'm not. They said I have no business caring about the business of the wrestling business because, we should just be fans and enjoy it. This is why I care that your booker and owner is invested in the product. If he's invested in the product is better. So don't think for a second that Vince McMahon wasn't invested in the Rock Stone Cold WrestleMania 17. He 100% was. That was a big deal. MJF and Will Ospreay, I have so much respect for. I think that this could be another great rivalry in professional wrestling. The rivalries that you name, Steamboat Flair, Austin Rock, Kenny Okada. And we could get Ospreay MJF because they both have that ability. Ospreay, hands down, in this incarnation of what we call professional wrestling, the best wrestler in the world.
But don't give it away for free.
And it's on a roster with Okada. And they gave it away for free.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because Tony needs to pop a rating. Now, this is what I'll submit to you guys, because I do pay attention to this. 775,000 people watched it.
Really?
So they were up, but they didn't hit 1 million. Then we got people saying, is this the greatest AEW match in history? No.
No.
Danielson and Omega was far better. You had Cowboy and Hangman and Danielson as well. I believe Swerve went about an hour at one point. So, I mean, there have been other matches that have been better. My point was, it almost seems like Tony just threw that at everybody because he's trying to close this Warner Brothers deal. 775,000 people watched it, myself included. Like Allison. No problem with the match. Even the shitty ending where he pulls the dynamite ring out, busts Ospreay in the head, gives him his second loss, and we're on our way to Wembley. That's pretty clear. My larger issue with AEW right now is in the women's division. Toni Storm, Mariah May, beautifully done. French kiss, congratulations. Chef's kiss, congratulations. I said French kiss.
Andrew.
I said French kiss because I'm thinking 4 tits, 2 women, and a dream, and it got broken up immediately after the own. But Chef's kiss, wonderfully done. And then you put that shit bag Monet out there against Britt Baker, who's another shit bag. They both suck. It's not for the world title. They can't carry the mic. They can't. I've got more business cutting fucking promos on national television than either of these two do right now. And then Mercedes in the wrestling ring is absolute hot garbage. So I will let you all know. I make my opinions even more nuanced and very clear on Paving the Way, episode 3 with Medusa, available on One True Sport. Feel free to check it out.
Absolutely. All right. So we got a pretty special list, especially for Allison here.
That's right.
Why don't we get into it? We're going to talk top 10 80s hair bands, and this is another controversial topic because we start talking about different bands, and they're like, they're not a hair band.
Now, for those who aren't watching the video, there's a picture that Terry chose that reminds me of my childhood. It is a bunch of men using stiff stuff to spike their hair with their spiky mullets. And if I could tell you how hot these men look to me, you would all just start laughing because...
Just to let you know, this is AI generated.
Yeah, I figured it was, but this is also phenomenal.
It is. It's great.
Okay? Y'all...
But let me tell you, I did 10 pictures for this. And you would think it was the same damn picture. It was these guys over and over again. Normally, I have a little bit of difference when I go for a few of them, but not this time. Same guys over and over again.
Well, this is my jam, and I love hair, so I am excited for this.
I love the fact he opens with knowing you're on here. It's controversial.
Well, we will get to some bands that we're going to discuss whether we think they're a hair band or not.
Oh.
Because we did take Kiss out, and then we already had some feedback that we better not have taken Kiss out.
Okay, so I took Kiss out, not Allison and Terry. I just think of Kiss as a rock band. I don't think of them as a hair band.
I actually
There's a couple
agree.
of them on the list I think I agree with there too. But
and I say I think of them a rock band. You know, Gene Simmons opens, "You wanted the best, you got the best," and they start playing, you know, "Gonna Rock and Roll All Night" or Detroit City, Rock City, or whatever. I mean, I get it. But I mean, that could be another top 10 presentations, front men. I mean, who's a better front man, Gene Simmons or Mick Jagger? I don't know.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
We could
Let's
fight.
debate it.
That's a
Who
good one.
knows? But anyway, my opinion was, and I apologize to you, Everett, that our young listener, is that Kiss is a rock band, not a hair band. My man.
He's gonna be mad.
They're a face paint band. Number 10, Cinderella.
Hell yeah!
I love Cinderella.
Look at that hair.
And there was just a handful of songs that I really
They
knew.
were almost on
growing
one-hit wonder territory.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
But those hits were good.
Yeah. I don't
But
have
they
any,
are definitely a hair band.
I would say I don't have any objection to them being a hair band. Look at
Oh,
them.
look at them. They look great.
And I tried to find the hairiest pictures of these guys.
Oh my God.
Some of these bands went through eras because rock
Yes.
bands, they're around for like
Yes.
60 years sometimes. I mean,
Correct.
look at the freaking Rolling Stones. They've been around forever.
And
Because-
thanks to Terry, next week's episode will be sponsored by Manscaped,
Yeah.
so you can clean up that hairy mess.
Yeah, because if you think about like Def Leppard, they went from big hair to flat hair.
Bon
Yeah.
Jovi.
Bon Jovi, same thing. Yep, big hair to flat hair.
Right.
What they do? Become adults, or they forget
Apparently.
their hair? What was the hairspray that was the super hairspray?
Stiff stuff.
Yeah.
Stiff stuff.
Okay.
Trust me, I know this because I used to buy it in gallon form and refill my
We should
hairspray
have found
bottle.
a picture of Allison for this week.
Oh no! I'm sure my dad will come up with one after this gets released.
He had phenomenal pictures at your birthday dinner. by
I
the
know
way.
he did. He's great at that. Thanks.
Number 9, Skid Row.
Hell, okay, so now this one's interesting because the lead singer Sebastian Bach, I thought he was fabulous, but he never had big hair. He
Right.
always had super long straight hair. I
But
find this
hair
interesting.
band is also
Uh,
not just about hair.
Oh, okay. Explain.
It is also a genre of music that has a certain feel to it. And that will be my debate with one of these that's pretty high on the list later, because maybe they had big hair, but I don't consider them as much a hair band because their music wasn't hair band worthy.
Okay.
Yeah, Skid Row definitely qualifies as a hair band on both of your categories.
Hmm.
Certainly sounds like one if you
All
listen
About
to
Love.
18 in Life, or what's the other?
I Remember You.
Yeah, I mean that fits that genre of
Right.
hair. And then when you look at them, because when I think of hair band, I want to see hair. And I mean, I know that sounds very simplistic, but this was rebellion against society. And
Yes.
I mean, it's not quite the 60s and the hippies and the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I get that. But even in the 80s, against, the Ronald Reagan administration being the leaders of America and et cetera, this is alternative. And that's where I agree with both of your qualifications. They got to have hair, and it does sound a certain way.
That's right.
I will say, I agree with you, Terry, because now that I'm thinking about it, hair bands typically have a ballad that they're known for. And so, yeah, all right. Let's keep going. And now I'm excited to see the rest of
And
the
I will
list.
give some concrete examples of that later in the
Okay.
top 10. Number 8, Whitesnake.
Oh, Kelly.
Here
we go.
Again on my own.
Nothing's better than Tawny Katane.
Tawny
on the hood of that
Katane.
car.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know I
Now,
like redheads.
You want to talk about good hair? God, I would have killed for hair like that. Oh, good.
I
good.
just want to sing it like out of old school.
But then later in life, Tawny Katane was arrested for beating up her baseball player husband. So maybe I didn't want to be around her as much
That's all right.
as I thought I did. But Whitesnake, that's one that'll sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Well,
you really
and
start thinking
Whitesnake-
about Whitesnake. They got more songs than you think about.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I jokingly sang, Here I Go Again. But isn't What Is Love theirs too? Or Is This Love?
Is this
Right, Is This Love?
Is This Love? So, I mean, they've got, like, to Allison's point, the little upbeat, kind of, whatever you want to, and then they've got the ballad.
always?
Because if you Google or put your Apple Music on power rock ballads, you're gonna go 3 for 3 right now. It's gonna be "I Remember You," "I Forget Cinderella's," and it's gonna be "Is This Love" by Whitesnake. So pretty sure it's "Is This Love." If it's not, Dave and the HSV will correct me next week.
Correct.
Number 7, Bon Jovi.
Hell yes.
This to me is one of those
number
bands.
7.
I don't know
Well,
how
this
they're
to
so
me is they had a hair band era.
correct. Absolutely.
Really, no? Number 7?
Yes. I'm surprised they're this low.
That's what I'm saying. Number
John
7.
Bon Jovi had some hairstyles, man.
Ooh, and
Remember,
hairstyle.
like I said, I Googled for the biggest hair pictures of these bands.
There is
that I
There
could
is
find.
one band I can think of on that list that might have the longevity of Bon Jovi, and they had 2 guitarists. So we talking Van Hagar or Van Halen? But
I don't put Hagar as a hair band.
but that's my point. Van Halen was under Van Halen with Sammy Hagar as the guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
So I think y'all wrong. Bon Jovi, Dead or Alive. That's for the boys, you know. But I mean, it's Dead or
I
Alive.
love Bon Jovi.
Huh?
I love Bon Jovi. I
mean,
just
that's
don't
the thing.
necessarily put them in that category as much as some other bands.
Mm,
Okay, you're wrong, but that's okay.
All right,
for
number
the sake
6.
of time,
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Allison and move on.
Number 6, Aerosmith.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean,
No. Rock band.
And that's the thing. They had
but
a small amount of time where they hit this hairband phase.
yeah, I agree.
But they had so much longevity that they were around in the 70s. They were not a hairband in the 70s. They were a hairband for a small amount of time when they had like Ragdoll and all that kind of stuff. But then later on, in the 2000s or in the 90s, they weren't a hairband then.
See, and I think that one of the things I think about with a hairband is the 80s, specifically the 1980s.
Right.
And I don't put Aerosmith in that category because they were around for over a decade before 80s.
But if you just look at the 80s, they were pretty
fit.
much a hairband in the 80s.
I get it. I get it.
Dude
He
Looks
just
Like a
doesn't like
Lady, Ragdoll.
I think Bon Jovi has as much right to be.
No, we did not lose Andrew.
What?
Oh,
You said you think Bon Jovi has as much right, and then you froze.
I think Bon Jovi has as much right to be a hairband as Aerosmith.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Aerosmith's necessarily top of my list on hair bands. When I think hair bands, Aerosmith doesn't come to mind.
Like
agree.
Kiss, maybe they're rock bands. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's look at number 5. There will be some definite hair bands. Here's Van Halen, and this gets into what we were talking about. David Lee Roth, hair band. Sammy Hagar, not hair band. That's my thought.
But Van Halen operated under Van Halen.
correct. So
Same
this
as you're
qualifies.
saying Aerosmith was a hairband for a little bit, but then
Yeah.
not all their life.
That's
Eddie
right.
Van Halen's hair was tremendous. Everybody talks about David Lee Roth, Eddie Van Halen's hair. He had great hair.
And he married, what's her name?
Valerie Bertinelli.
Valerie Bertinelli.
This is Allison shit. Like, I'm just kind of like here to tell you all along. He's the one with the facts today.
One day at a time.
Oh. All right, let's look at number 4, Poison.
Hell
this is who I
yes.
think of when I think hair band.
Good God,
Look at
how
this.
beautiful that is. My God.
That is glamour shots if you've ever seen glamour shots right there. Look at that. This is when I was in elementary school. 3 of my buddies and I decided we're going to be Poison.
No.
And we fought over who we would be. Everybody wanted to be CC. I compromised and I was Bret Michaels.
Compromise. That's crazy.
Poison's want to sneak up on you
I
with
was
the
a
number of
dude.
songs they've got, too.
You're still a dude, dude.
I'm still a dude, but I was a dude back then too. I didn't
Well,
care how hot
I
Brett
love
Michaels was. I
this.
wanted to be CC DeVille.
Yeah, I know, but I think they should be higher on this list. They had great hair.
I agree.
That's what he said.
I agree.
Still a dude.
Still a dude.
But oh yeah, I mean, I can go through their whole catalog here. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of Poison songs. I mean, a lot of Poison songs.
Yep.
Number 3, Guns N' Roses. See, this is one. Their music does not fit hairband to me.
Well, they are a hair band. You can't tell me that Slash is not.
Well, Slash has a lot
Come
of hair.
on.
I
No,
get it.
he's got, but he had a whole look with the hat. So, like, it
This-
was a thing. I thought it was fabulous.
I tried to find the most hair I could on a picture of them.
Guns N' Roses is a rock band, not a hair band.
So, do you also think Skid Row is a rock band, not a hair band? Exact same thing.
They're not
See?
as hard.
So, I disagree.
Now, Skid Row has rock
excuse
ballads.
me. Have
Skid
you
Row has
listened to
rock
November?
ballads. Guns
have
N'
you
Roses is not.
Excuse me. Have you not heard November Rain?
Excuse me.
I will fight you on this one till my dying breath.
Easy
Guns
there,
N'
Vicky
Roses.
Guerrero. Excuse me.
Guns N' Roses is absolutely a
That's
hair band.
great.
I don't think so, but I love.
And
I'm
again-
on this.
You're wrong, and that's okay.
I love Appetite for Destruction. It's on my iPhone.
Yes.
All right. Let's look at number 2. Motley Crue. Definitely a hair band.
I have these on my current playlists today, Motley Crue. Like, I listen to Motley Crue today. I love Motley Crue. Have always loved Motley Crue. But again, they have a ballad. Without You.
Ballad and a rock song.
And a rock song.
hair. They check the
They're
box.
great.
So good.
All right. Any thoughts on number 1? There's only one that hasn't been mentioned. It's not what I thought might be number 1, but it ended up there.
Okay.
Def Leppard is the
Oh
top
my
spot.
God.
So
My sister would agree. I will say that.
So here's the funny part about Def Leppard. They had shorter hair, but they had style. Like, they always had a hairstyle. It wasn't like, this is probably the messiest you'll ever see them. I always thought Def Leppard had really gorgeous hair.
I like Def Leppard. I just wouldn't have put
I like
them
Def
number
Leppard.
one.
Of all the bands on this list, Def Leppard's the only one I've seen.
Really? I've seen probably 3 or 4, maybe 5.
I've seen 0, but that's okay. You know.
I saw Def Leppard in Charlotte, North Carolina at a music festival.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it's a good band. Good song, obviously. You know, they're known for Pour Some Sugar on Me, Babe, and that is what he said.
All right. That was a good list.
So let me run it down.
Look
Okay, number
like it.
10, Cinderella. Number 9, Skid Row. Number 8, Whitesnake, which I had higher than 8. Number 7, Bon Jovi. Number 6, Aerosmith. 5, Van Halen, not Van Hagar, in the words of Joe Dirt. Number 4, Poison. Number 3, Guns N' Roses. Number 2, Motley Crue. And number 1, 80s hair band, Def Leppard.
So to our little buddy listener, Mr. Everett, please tell your mother or tell us why we are wrong.
Yes. And we're okay with that.
And we do love you, my man.
And thank you, everybody, for voting. I will say that the number of voters for the hairband list was more than the number of voters for the football list.
Call me surprised, not call me Ishmael.
I didn't vote in the football one, so that's why.
What the hell?
And I
You're on
voted
this
5
show.
times in the hairband list.
I got too excited about 80s hair. Come on. You should know better.
So why don't we talk about what's coming up on the RAM network? And Andrew, you handled this, so why don't you take the lead on this? Because it's new info to me.
You are baiting me. Okay, so Filter Free Popcast. That's Tibby C. That's Dave in the HSV. Dave, send me your corrections. And that's TJ talking about 1969, July, not the number. 69. You'll get that later. Anyway, Brian Jones dies. Easy Rider debuts in theaters. Highly controversial, speaking of sex stuff. Joe Namath has to sell his bar, Roll Tide. And there is a deep dive into the lunar landing that never happened We
Don't-
never put a man on the moon. 1969, as Allison bites her lip over there while I try to say that with a straight face.
Mm.
The resident rocket scientist somehow thinks we planted a flag on the moon where there is no gravity. But that's a debate for another day.
I watched
You're
the
a
interview.
dumbass.
We're going to have a show called Ram Debate coming up at some point, I'm sure. Crap.
Yes.
You know that was fantabulous. That I knew the minute you pitched it to me that I was going to get to throw it at Allison. That there's no way a flag stuck into the moon in 1969. But fun fact, I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a little kid. So there you go. Not a rocket scientist. Then I found out the moon landing was all fake. Along
Stop
with
it!
aliens and everything.
So what's on Talking Wrestling this week on Monday night, I believe,
The
correct?
Golden One, Cassandra Golden, will be joining Dave and I believe Justin. I don't know if Amy will be there or not.
I believe Amy will be.
Is she? Okay. Well, it was last week she wasn't there with the
And it's on
Bojangles
her
champ,
birthday.
Jay-Z Flair.
That's
And
right.
it is her birthday, yes. Number 29, an anniversary of.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Her 29th birthday. So they will be interviewing the Golden One, Cassandra Golden, coming off of the idiocy with my man Jay-Z Flair. This will probably be far more informative than the Bojangles champ, who never defended his title ever. He's never defended it, and he claims to be the champion. But anyway, they'll be interviewing the Golden One, Cassandra Golden. Imagine that Amy will be full of questions, as is her normal. And obviously, her and Dave and Teppy just came back from Waterloo, so they'll probably have some good stories about the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, I can imagine. Terry, up next, it says I was there is on this list. That's you and Dave in the HSV, buddy. I heard.
Sometime in the next 6 months, we will record a show.
Sounds like me and Andrew for just putting
Yeah.
it in your mouth.
Just put it in your mouth. Peter Luger coming, along with the horrible
43
Mexican restaurant and the Thai restaurant. And
if
Connor.
I say that I'm going to do this within the next week, I'm going to jinx myself, and life is going to turn to chaos.
Mm.
But whenever they do it, it's going to be Bash at the Beach 2000, which is
That's
the
right.
epitome of WCW dumpster fire.
That's right. And eventually, I'm going to bring somebody on to talk to me about when I went to the final Nitro in the Georgia Dome in 1999. That
They
was
just
covered on
celebrated the
another
anniversary.
broadcast.
It was Sid Vicious and Nash in the main event, right?
It was fantastic.
Terry's excited. Generations, Dave and I will be talking about the build to Royal Rumble 93. He texted me today and plans to do that this week. So we will. Medusa is traveling. It is her grandmother's 101st birthday. So we will not be recording this week. It will be next week. We will be recording. Don't have any idea what show we're doing yet, but I'll figure it out. So that allows us to record Generations and probably Hard Times. So we will have some new episodes for our RAM network this week. And I guess we should announce the new show, Terry, covering the USWA and the CWA, Memphis, the debut of Cowabunga the Ninja Turtle on USWA, as Pondwater Dave puts our buddy Dave in the HSV through straight hell watching garbage Memphis wrestling. And I said it. I don't mind saying it. The guy's name is Cowabunga the Ninja Turtle. Even 5-year-old me would have said fuck off. Okay, so this doesn't work. But anyway,
That's fantastic.
FFP tonight recording Wrestling with Commercials from the 1990s. So that'll be exciting. They go back and they watch commercials that aired during the 1990s. My favorite's the Mentos commercial. Still,
Fresh Maker.
which one?
The Fresh Maker.
The Fresh Maker. That's right. My favorite one, and you guys probably remember, is when the dude sits on the bench that's just been painted. So
Yes.
he rolls the suit and he gets pinstripes.
Pinstripes.
Everybody remembers that commercial. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, they're doing that. And then, of course, World Flashback. I have no idea what they talked about, but it's the Von Erichs. Probably. That's a favorable bet. And the Freebirds. Also pretty favorable. That's going to happen on that show because they're walking through 1983. Dave, the referee, Super Dave, favorite year in wrestling. But he's in the wrong territory, and that's okay.
Is that all for the?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot that I wrote up for us.
You
This
did.
is my
Good job.
contribution
Thank
to the
you.
show.
Thank you. Because
Yeah.
20 minutes before we recorded, I thought, oh, crap, did we ask everybody what they're doing this week? And Andrew had already handled it. I didn't remember we already had the debate on the moon landing in our chat. So, yeah, that's pretty much.
Terry had been liquored up. He went to the liquor stove. As he told me before the show, they got pre-made.
Yeah, I got sold up on something at the liquor store, but we don't have to talk about that.
Oh,
What we
boy.
are going to talk about.
Not Macho Man socks.
The next, well, I got a Macho Man shirt, but the next thing we're going to talk about is the champ of the week. And I know I haven't talked about this with you guys. We didn't really prepare this all that well. And I don't have any notes on this one. I'm hoping that somebody might be able to help me with the details of this one this week. Our champ of the week this week, because not only did we go to Las Vegas for a birthday and to have fun, somebody was there for a real purpose. And our champ of the week this week is Allison Faye Johnson, because not only do you like to gamble and have fun and travel, but you were there for a different reason. First off, like I said, I don't have any notes. We know that you do very good things, and that's the reason you were there. We would like to know, why were you there? What was this conference about? What did you do at the conference? And tell us about some of the other work you do in this area. Sorry for catching you off guard. We love you, and we are sorry.
I love you. This is
I
great.
am not
Thank
sorry.
You
deserve it.
So the main reason I went to Las Vegas is because I am the chair, the global chair for my company, which is, I'll call it like a conglomerate of 3 smaller companies, but total it's 180,000 employees. And I am the global chair of the Disability Employee Network. So we champion and fight for equal rights for our disabled employees, caregivers, and our allies help us do this. So the conference I went to in Las Vegas was the National Disability In Conference, where I got asked to speak this year again. So I'm very excited about that. It was a really wonderful time. I brought 24 other people from my company. So it was a full week of organizing and making sure everybody was attending something and learning something. And I had a group dinner, and like that was fun. But honestly, you all know me, like you said, Terry, you know, I am a service person. This is how I love to give back. I also help with my son, who is on this autism spectrum, with his baseball team. He plays on a challenger team with kids from age 5 to 21 from our local towns. And, you know, doing this kind of work, I always say I have my day job and my yay job. This is my yay job. I love doing this kind of stuff. And this week was really great. I got to do a couple of random acts of kindness, which I always love doing. So we have... This year there were 3,000 people at the conference, and I'd say probably about 9/10 of them are disabled in some way, myself included. So I got to do a couple of really nice things for some people this week, and I was really happy about it.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you for dealing with the surprise.
Nah,
well.
It's fine. I love it. I love the picture you picked. That's
yeah,
me
well,
and my coffee.
I went through your Facebook pictures and snooping around and said what would be a good picture. So that ended up being it.
That's a good one.
It's vibrant, and it is you. And
but we, you know, we like to surround ourselves with positive people who make an impact on us and the world. And you are definitely one of those people. So we felt like it was time for you to be the champ of the week.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this has not been something that we haven't actually talked about before. We just didn't know the right time to do it. And this was perfect.
This works.
And we did hair bands on the same show.
I know,
so it
right?
was the perfect show to do it.
Vegas, hair bands, Allison
Good
Faye.
Lord.
And here's the thing. People, surround yourselves with the right people. I call them my village. Amy, Terry, Allison, John, Marie, Randy. All have different things they bring to the table. Allison's empathetic in places I am not. She thinks about things in a different way that I do not think about. And we need people like her. People like that willing to champion and fight for people who can't fight for themselves. That's why we love you. Or one of the many reasons why we love you.
That's right. And that trip to Vegas was awesome. Thanks to you and thanks to your parents for making that happen for us. It was fabulous.
It was amazing.
As I said to my parents, I'm pretty sure it was the first time I've ever been to Vegas, and I've been there maybe 40 times. First time I've ever been with my friends who were there so we could just have good bonding, wonderful time together. And I'm sorry for turning Terry into a degenerate gambler. Because, I saw those
Such a degenerate.
The damn chickens, man.
The chicken's going to blow up.
The fireworks.
Fireworks are going to blow up.
Fireworks. Yeah, with the fireworks.
I'm so sorry. But it was fun.
It was. And this show has been fun.
Fun fact. I lost $18 in Las Vegas.
Hey.
Just don't ask me how much I spent on food.
I lost 18, home. But I went along with about 400 more.
I came home with money, so that's a win for me.
Well, I was fully prepared to spend it, and we didn't spend it.
Yeah.
So
it was great. I didn't spend much at all. Like I said, thanks to you guys, it was fantastic.
I told you I know how to work those freebies. I wasn't kidding.
She does indeed.
So the Vegas trip was fun. I'm looking forward to your new episodes of Just Put It in Your Mouth, especially the Peter Luger episode, because we did kind of skip on that today to set that up. So that'll be good. But splitting the show up, we went a little bit over, but we had we talked 30 minutes on Vegas. So it's good. It's good. It's a special occasion. It's been fun. Thanks as always to you, Andrew, and to you, Allison Faye. Do either of you have any parting thoughts?
I have one. And it's just that things put things in perspective sometimes. We put things in perspective. In no time in my life did I ever expect a former president to be someone attempt to assassinate him. Nor did I ever expect the man running for president to decide he was going to step down. You know what, guys? Does it really fucking matter? This show is intended as a distraction and a fun way to get away from all of that garbage. Never thought I'd see it in my lifetime where we get an assassination attempt and a sitting president say he's not running for office again, 90 days before the election. Don't care. Doesn't matter, because these people that we just spent the last hour and 15 minutes talking to and with and about and all that filled holes in me that just bled out for years. And none of this other shit matters. Hug your people, love your people. Terry, I think you know what to do now.
I do. I will give one more opportunity to the lady if you have.
I am good. Take us out, Terry.
All righty. Thanks, guys. As always, love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, guys.